Did you find the rest of the carcass? Hey, Eli, I found this glass bottle that was in a fire. I have a feeling, that's the rib cage. I have a feeling that people dump stuff over this hill because we got a partially burnt Dr. Pepper bottle. We got an old broken faucet. And then we found that butchered leg over there. And now we found the rest of the spinal column, the skull.
Follow me over here.
And the skull and the rib cage. Oh, this has been butchered too. You can see the butcher marks right there. See how they cut the bones? They actually see where the ribs attach to the spine? On this side, those are butcher marks. Again, I'm not that I'm a forensics expert, but you can see the kerf marks and the kerf. The kerf marks.
Will you take this too?
No, I don't. I do not want skeletal deer remains. I can't.
Well, we had a deer skull.
We have a deer skull. The skull is kind of cool, but I don't really want a bunch of deer remains at my house. It's a doe because I don't see any antlers, and so I don't see any growth at all out of the skull. Oliver, do you know what this is? It's the skeleton. It's the skeletal remains of a deer that's been butchered.
Why can't we keep this part? Butchered?
Because I understand that you think this is super cool, and I do too. But I really don't want the skeletal remains of this hanging out in our front yard.
Why?
Well, probably we won't get many visitors if we have skeletal remains laying around our yard.
Because they would be super scared.
Yeah, people don't generally have skeletal remains, except for decorations at Halloween. But it's also, probably a dump site. You see how there's a Pepsi can over there and all this? I have a feeling that people just, up the top of the street, they just throw all this down here.
Wait, over here.
What do you see?
Some teeth.
Teeth?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, deer are herbivores, and so they have teeth of herbivores.
But not teeth. No. I can kind of see the inside.
Yep.
I need this stick.
Yep.
Give me that. Could you give me that stick over there?
Yeah.
I'm going to open up the mouth. Give me two. Not that stick, that other smaller.
I don't think that one's strong enough. If you want to come back with tools, we can.
Give me this.
We could come back with pliers. I suspect that that's very rigid and you're going to have a very hard time moving it. Because also, if you look closely, the mandible is still attached.
The what is still attached?
So this is the top part of the skull. And decomposition and insects have gotten the eyes and the brain. But this bottom part, look here, on you and me, look here. Look, this part, make your mouth go up and down. This is called the jaw, the mandible. This other part's part of the skull, and it's hinged back here. So same thing with the deer, except on the deer it's hinged here, right? Yep, it's hinged there. So the jaw, the mandible, is still attached to the skull. And like us, like I was talking about with the butchered leg we found, mammals have one bone here. We all evolved from the same smaller mammals after dinosaurs. One bone, two bones, many bones. But they have hooves. But the similarities between other animals and us are very, 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 very strong.
Daddy, could you move? I'm trying. This is inside. Kind of cool, actually.
It is pretty cool.
Do we have like?
We're doing a post-mortem.
Do we have like a woggly thing that woggles around in our mouth?
Well, what we have is a hinged point in our jaw that allows our jaws to go up and down.
Now, like a wiggly thing that looks like something like a
tonsils?
Water drop. One.
Oh, the uvula.
Oh, maybe that's what he's talking. Talking about the tonsils?
Uh-huh. The uvula.
What's the?
It's back in the back of your throat. It's your gag reflex.
Oh, maybe.
Mouth?
Yeah, it's in your mouth. It's in the back of your throat.
I think I can see it.
Oh, do you think you can see it in there?
I don't know if deers have uvulas. I know humans do.
I don't know. We're at the end of my knowledge of anatomy.
Hey.
I want to bring that bottle with.
Hey, don't hit it.
Yeah, don't hit it. I know you want to take it apart and examine it, but we'd have to come back with different tools if we were going to do that.
And maybe
why can't we move the mouth?
Well, we can if we come back with different tools.
I want
Give me that stick.
Okay. But here's the deal. Soon we've got that. Actually, is really rotten. I love that you are basically a coroner.
Okay, Eli, careful, you'll break it.
He wants to see the mandible move, but the problem is, I think everything is.
Rigor mortis. It's not gonna.
Well, rigor leaves after a while, but at this point, it's all just tissue, cartilage, is all that's left.
And it's also super cold.
90% of the flesh is gone.
Probably gonna be frozen anyway.
I know. Is that a stick?
It's cool. Let's